In the beginning, follow your passion, follow your heart. Because of that very reason, you have no idea what's going to come back to you. And it might not be tomorrow, it might not be next week, it might be 5 years from now, but you might regret not doing it if it's only about the money.
Hello, dear listeners. It's that time again when we stroll through the paths of ambition, desire, and success. Welcome to the Dare to Declare podcast, where we explore the enchanting world of giant manifestors who turn their visions and goals into the stuff of legends. I couldn't help but wonder, how do some people create the lives they've always dreamed of? Is it the magic of manifesting, the power of perseverance, or perhaps just a dash of serendipity? Well, dear friends, grab your coffee cups because we're about to spill the tea on fascinating journeys of those who dare to dream big and make it happen. Join me as we sip on success stories and ponder the ever-enticing question, can we all manifest our dreams into reality, or is it just an urban fairy tale? I'm your host, Debbie Sluice, and I'm here to guide you through the labyrinth of achievement with heart and soul. Ready to dare to declare? Let's get started. Hello, beautiful listeners. I am super excited to share my guest today. Her name is Kristin Sullivan, and she's the founder of the Bridal Retreat, a space where wedding planning marries wellness. Her strategic, creative mind, paired with her calming presence on an event day, is what makes Kristin shine. Led from a place of deep service, a spirit of kindness, and master of organizational skills, Kristin has orchestrated creative weddings and one-of-a-kind events across the globe for clients over the past 2 decades. No matter the celebration, be it a wedding, a VIP corporate event, social celebrations, or fundraisers, Kristin delights herself in infusing her clients' personalities into the details so that no two events ever look or feel alike. Kristin holds the immense honor of being named Mentor for North America and the Caribbean for the Global Wedding Academy. She takes great pride in introducing and guiding new wedding planners into the industry worldwide. She is also a certified Dare to Declare Vision Board Instructor. She produced a wedding which aired on ABC Primetime and has been quoted in People magazine. Kristin has expanded into the world of lifestyle and brand collaboration. Her mission? To help fans and fellow event planners as they create memorable events. This ambition has led her to produce several products, including 3 best-selling books, a wedding journal, and a planning guide, So Us, a keepsake book and planner. The IDOIN 30 card deck, which counts down to the final 30 days to a wedding day, and the wedding day emergency bag, Hip Betty. Kristin's desire is to help people celebrate all over the world, and it leads her to continue to expand her offerings and find new outlets for her creativity in her spare time. Kristin loves spending time with her fur baby, her Portuguese water dog, Abaco. Together with Abaco, she's launched the Stinky Pet Company, a luxurious pet-friendly home fragrance product line, which gives back to help fight small animal abuse and neglect. She continues her passion for writing while chasing sunsets around the globe. Welcome, Kristin.
Good morning. How are you?
I am amazing and even better now that you're here. Let's just jump right in. Let's entice the listener with what they're going to be hearing in this next 30 to 40 minutes, because you and I have some really cool history, some things that have tied us together in ways that even friends that I've had for decades, I don't have the kind of intimate connections with. Okay, people are like, what's going on with the two of you? But that I have with you. One of them was you invited me to be part of your birthday.
Yeah.
And you decided for your birthday to host a conference, a retreat. And the guest was none other than Gabby Bernstein. What made you decide to bring Gabby into your birthday experience and your celebration?
I always had this passion for her and for everything that she had overcome. And I felt like that year for me, my birthday was a milestone of overcoming a lot of obstacles. So when you think about people that have had that impact on you or have played either a small role or a big role in overcoming things, you think you want to share that with other people, right? I'm a big sharer. We as women, we can overshare and support one another until, the sun goes down, right? I just always want to give back. And in that process, you learn. You learn from other people, you learn from experiences. And when women come together, magic happens. And I feel Gabby was that thread weaving us all together for that particular celebration. It was in a place that I love, Nashville. It was surrounded by amazing people that have had an impact in my life, or new women that came and joined us. It was amazing that you were there and that you got to experience that. And there were so many treasures that came out of that weekend. I think about Nicole Clark, and Gabby ended up helping her to launch her book about the loss of her daughter. And I get goosebumps thinking about it. There's so many other things that came out of that, but thank you for being part of that. And that's a memory that will be forever in my heart.
Oh, me too. It was a crystallized, magical weekend. As you said, the space that you created with this historic home in Nashville, the women that you attracted, it was just exactly perfect. As an aside, I was talking to someone yesterday. They're like, should I run a retreat? Should I do a retreat? What if it doesn't make money? What if it doesn't? And it takes bravery, it takes boldness to put yourself out there and to organize. We can talk more about creating events, and you know all about that. And I said to her too, you may not see the rewards necessarily even financial right away, but the seeds that you plant, those will continue to sprout. Those will continue to flourish years after. Someone who's attended that event that you hosted going to reach back out to you, or it just may come in such marvelous ways.
It's so true. I always say, and I know this isn't easy, but try to take the money out of it in the beginning. Follow your passion, follow your heart, because of that very reason. You have no idea what's going to come back to you. And it might not be tomorrow. It might not be next week. It might be 5 years from now, but you might regret not doing it if it's only about the money. Of course, we all want to make money. We all want to be successful, but sometimes success isn't measured in dollars. And I think that for me, I don't think you can even put a dollar amount on some of the relationships, some of the conversations, some of the experiences that you get out of life, because they're just measurable. Faith, it's not easy. Trust me, I've shed a lot of tears during the planning process of some of the events that I've done, and not all of them have been monetarily successful. But when I look back and I think about people that I've met or places that I've been or things that have happened surrounding them, again, you can't put a dollar amount on some of those.
So let's go back. Your biography is just, again, I've known you and I'm reading this and going, hey, what wedding on ABC? What? So cool. So let's talk a bit about where you started. And again, this is a half hour, but where you are now, because you've had such a very extraordinary journey. And I've only known you, like I said, for the last couple of years, and I've seen so much change, good, and things that were been really challenging, loss and so forth, tremendous loss, and that you've been managing that and using the work, using Gabby's work, using the personal development work that you have engaged in yourself to navigate that. So where did you start?
I'll give you the quick version. I started in the travel industry. So destination celebrations, really for families going away together, whether it be family reunions or corporate outings. I started in the corporate travel world and fell into the leisure side of it. Tying it to the wedding was I very sadly had my own disastrous destination wedding in the hands of a absentee planner at a very luxury resort. And I'm a fixer, right? So I rebounded. I picked myself up by the bootstraps that morning of my wedding. Actually, it started a couple days before that. But anyway, I was able to fix things. No one else knew what was happening but myself and my mom. And I was able to quickly rebound, but not everyone can quickly rebound. And that is a gift that I have. And it's why I'm in the industry that I'm in, because I can think quickly and I don't cave under pressure. So after that experience, how to help will not have to go through what I went through that day, because I knew a lot of people couldn't have handled it. And a lot of things went wrong, and it's in the book, and the book is still being written, but it just made me really understand that I want to share that gift. And that's how I ended up going forward, just destination weddings and destination celebrations. And I love that my career took that path because it took me in so many amazing places. But what I learned was that there's so many family dynamics and so many situations that can get thrown at people that can turn what's supposed to be a very magical and wonderful experience into a very stressful time. And we all know stress is a killer, right? It's something that we try to avoid, but it's something that eventually can come out in really unhealthy ways. And I learned over decades of working with families that you see these things happening and you think, wow, that's really going to affect someone in 10 years and 20 years and 25 years. This little tiny thing that's happening and is going to just blow up. And I really wanted to help people. I couldn't understand how they could not see that happening. But when you're so close to it and you're dealing with it, you can't see it happening, but the outsiders can see it happening. After the pandemic, I sat there thinking, how can I help people, not just the bride and the groom, but even the people surrounding them and that are supporting them to not stress. You used to get all these accolades at the end. Thank you. It was exactly as magical as you told me it was going to be. I wish I would have listened. I want them to listen on day one. I don't want them to listen on day 365 because it's those 365 days, which is the average to plan a wedding, that all of these things are happening and they're not enjoying it. And it should be enjoyed every moment, right? And you're planning this time with all of the most important people in your life. And you should look back on every single day and not just the day of, because it goes by like that. And you blink and it's gone. And everyone used to say at the end, I can't believe how fast it went. And that's what I'm saying. I wanted these retreats, and they started as in-person retreats, very similar to the one that you attended with me, to now launching the virtual version because I wanted to reach more people. And I do understand the price point on the in-person retreat, going back to stress and money, which is a big factor during weddings, that not everyone could afford a high ticket retreat when they're planning a very high end event. My solution to that was to provide everyone anywhere in the world a virtual experience for the retreat. And so I basically took all of those components of the in-person retreat that I possibly could. When you remove, obviously, in-person contact and things like that, there's just a little shift, but you still get all of the major components and you can do it from the comfort of your own home at a very different price point, but it gives you the tools to learn how to deal with stress. We all have to take care of ourselves first. And if we're not happy first on the inside, no one around us can be happy for us even, or with us. It's all hospitality. It's all service from the heart. It's all about gathering and making memorable experiences, whether it's a wedding, an anniversary, even corporate events. I have had my hands around some of the most luxurious automobile brands that
Yeah, talk
are
about that.
here.
So Land Rover, right?
Land Rover and Jaguar, I was very fortunate to handle and oversee their very high touch customer events for years all over the US. And again, it's about gathering people and giving them an experience that is a positive one and being with like minded people, right? So if you're going to buy a certain type of vehicle, you probably have other things in common with someone else. And that is what would happen. These brands would gather around racetracks and they would be educated on how to use their actual vehicle. I know you have an amazing vehicle. I wonder if when you first got in that car and you started looking at all of those buttons and all of those things around it going, what does this do? What does that do? A
It's
lot of people, exactly. And a lot of people get very intimidated by that. And so what I loved about these experiences, these drive and performance experiences where you were actually taught by people that knew those cars inside and out. They told you how every button worked, every gadget worked, but they also taught you the safety of the vehicle. And the experience that people had at the end of those was such a great bonding experience. Again, they're probably a customer for a lifetime just because of that.
Right.
And I carry a lot of what I learned from those brands into my own brands, right? I just want it to be a great experience from start to finish. You don't really have repeat customers in the wedding industry, but you do have referrals. And it's been one of the biggest honors in my life to have someone that I planned their wedding, either have a sibling come back to me so you actually get to see that entire family again, or to hire me to do a corporate event for them when I've done their wedding. And you get to see them again, but they have such trust in you that you handled obviously one of the most important days of their life that now they're going to let you handle something for another family member or for their company. So that to me is my Kool-Aid. That's what fuels me.
Yeah. I think a lot of small business people that are just starting out, entrepreneurs, we're just looking for the next shiny object and we just keep reaching for the next new thing. As you just said, it's your client who's had that experience, who's your best ambassador, who's your best referral, who's your best lead to your next client, and just pouring everything in. I've seen some of your work and some of the creativity around wedding planning. Can you share something that was a really exciting destination, something that was really creative that you just pulled it out of a hat? I've seen you do that too, where you just make something out of nothing. It's not nothing, but you make beauty out of what is just ordinary. But something where either a corporate event or a wedding that really stands out in your mind that you got to use all your creative juices.
You mentioned earlier about the wedding that was on ABC primetime. And this wedding was very near and dear to my heart because it was for my little brother and my sister-in-law.
Oh.
And they had entered this contest to win a wedding. And so we're all like, what does that mean? And this was a long time ago. This was before any of the reality wedding TV shows happened. And it was ABC primetime with co-hosted by Diane Sawyer. So it was a big deal. And they ended up winning. So the theme of the wedding show was compromise. And so this was a big thing in my family. My brother wanted to be married in a winter wonderland, and my sister-in-law wanted to have a beach, sunny, warm wedding. And so I thought, how are we going to pull this one off? Basically, when they were chosen for this, we really got creative. And what happened was we brought a beach wedding to a winter wonderland reception. And it wasn't as easy as it sounds because we were in New England and it was fall. It poured rain. So the weather was not our friend. So all these things that we had planned, my sister-in-law was going to arrive by boat. She was going to walk barefoot up into the sand and they were going to be married on the beach. And the pouring down rain canceled the boat. We had to have it in a different place, which was completely mud, but no one knew that until they arrived. We were supposed to have Dove release and they couldn't release because of the weather. So again, you're in constant plan B. I always have plan B in the back of my head from day one. And it happened. It was great. They were married. We shuttled everyone to the reception and basically we'd create a winter wonderland. So when they left the beach, they actually walked through a snow tunnel with fake snow sprinkling all over them. There were Christmas trees. There were stockings. We had a lobster clam bake for the meal, which is a traditional New England style celebration. So it was just very eclectic. And it was marrying both of what they wanted, right? So it was a compromise. And I had props. And I just remember it was pouring in one corner of the tent. And I thought, oh, how is this happening? How is this happening? And basically what we did is we took fake snow blankets and just covered it up. So no one saw that it was pouring in the corner of the tent under the Christmas tree. But those are the things that they come to you. You have to look around for your resources and you've got people on the way. And also it's a family wedding. Like I also wanted to be part of it. And I remember saying I can be a bridesmaid or I can be a planner, but I cannot be both. And thankfully I put my foot down for that one. So you look around you and you have to use the resources that are there at the time. And you've got hundreds of people coming and you just have to make things work. And that's what I do. I look around, I grab from the resources that I have. And sometimes it's not what ideally you're picturing in your mind, but it works. And that's what you do. I'm not a big fan of reality TV. I probably wouldn't ever put anyone else through that. They look for the drama. They look to press buttons. They look for people's hot points. And I just don't think that's something that somebody should add stress to an already stressful situation.
Right.
and self included. I'm not a person that likes to be in front of a camera. I much prefer to be behind the scenes. It's where I shine. There are some people that love it, some people that do great at it. It's just not my thing. But would I ever do it again? No. Would I ever put anyone else through that or suggest it? Obviously, it's their decision and I would support it, but it's a lot of stress. And
Right.
again, my whole goal in life is to say yes to no stress when you're going through these processes. And
Yeah.
it was definitely an experience of a lifetime.
Absolutely. And talking about stress, you've had a lot that's happened. You've had upheavals within your home. You went through a hurricane, lost your home, lost your Airstream trailer, and it was so stunning and gorgeous. So if you follow me, you might know that my branding colors is Tiffany blue and Kristen's is as well. And so just imagine everything retro, that Tiffany blue color. It was just stunning. Actually, I think this is how Kristen and I met, is that she stumbled upon my website and was looking and saw that I had a couples vision board experience on there, reached out to me. So here's her again asking. She didn't see anything about weddings, didn't see, but was like, "Hey, do you do anything for you? I see your couples there. Tell me more about that. And do you do anything for couples before marriage?" And I'm like, "No, but I could." Her idea was in her Airstream trailer was that she was going to support couples to do their planning moon. I think that was what you were going to call it. So the
Yeah.
planning for the wedding using the vision board as proven process that we have at Dare to Declare. So that's why Kristen became certified in that. And we worked together multiple times. And one of the times I came to where she moved from Florida after the hurricane and went to Georgia. And she invited me to be part of it was a bridal vision board experience with mothers and daughters. Do you want to pick up the story from here?
That took a strange twist. We ended up still doing a vision board experience. It was not mother and daughter as we intended, but we had some amazing people in there. We have a story that we just shared. And I hope someday you'll have Barbie on to shout out about her vision board experience and how everything off her vision board has jumped out into her life. She was one of our guests for this one.
Yeah, he shows one thing that manifested for her that was significant.
So she really wanted to be in a relationship, and she had this man on her vision board with these Ray-Ban glasses on, and she ended up marrying a man who constantly wears Ray-Ban. There was other things on the vision board, like someone opening doors for her. He's always opening her door. He's buying her jewelry. She had jewelry on her vision board. I mean, I was screaming. When she was telling me, I was just screaming. I could not wait to call you and share it with you. It was so wild.
I'm so glad you did.
But during that weekend, this was one of my first experiences in Georgia, which after coming from a very traumatic hurricane season and experience, I didn't even think about tornadoes. I invited you and you were staying with me. And I remember waking up and I think it was like 2 in the morning, hearing these sirens. And I thought, you have got to be kidding me. These are like tornado sirens. And I remember even hesitating to knock on your door and be like, this woman's going to think I'm crazy coming into a room in the middle of the night. Right. And so remember just getting you awake and say, oh, we have to get to a safe place. I just thought about this morning again of us huddling in these all enclosed hallway in this old historic home in Georgia. No windows, thankfully, in this spot. And it was you and the dog. And I'm thinking, this is crazy. And I remember you saying, "Is it okay to say a prayer?" And I'm like, "Yes, please." I couldn't believe it was happening. And I'm so glad you were there because I'm not sure. Thankfully, obviously, we were okay and everything was okay. But it was really scary. And it was really scary coming off of another traumatic weather experience.
Feel like the angels were there. It shook your home so hard that remember we thought that there was definitely going to be broken something because your dishes were
Yeah.
rattling in the china cabinet. And we found out like it had gone right over your home. And then the reason you couldn't get a telephone service, remember I could, which was so strange, but
Yes.
of course I'm Canadian, so I had a different cell service. But your tower had been crumpled and just like by
Yeah.
the
The
tornado.
tower had been, yes,
Yeah.
the tower had been
So
torn right
that
out.
was something, but just how we sat, and the dog in between us and praying, and I felt this sense of peace though. I remember feeling like God has got us, and whatever's supposed to happen. And I'm not, oh, I have no death wish, that's for sure. But I just felt so at peace, even though my family wasn't there, but I was with you. I just thought, God's got us. And so that was a really beautiful time. And then I remember going and checking out your store because Kristen also at that time had, and she still has physical things, but she had a bricks and mortar store where she has beautiful wedding and also home decor. Just checking that out, and wow, that Main Street, you can tell that tornado had ripped through there. It just branches down. There was a few leaks in the store.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the windows had leaked, the roof had leaked in the back, and it was kind of the start of the demise of the store. It was definitely an experience. I love, what brought me to that store was the bridal registry, and again, just tying it into the wedding industry, and met some amazing people in that part of my life, Barbie included, that we were just talking about, and just some other amazing people. So it is wild, the journey. It's always a journey. You just never know what the next chapter is going to bring you. And you always just try to look for the positive in it and how it can, again, connect you, or, what's coming down the path for you. And we have ventured into another part of it where you're going to be planning your own conference.
Before
I'm
we get
happy
to
to
that, I
see.
did want to talk about Abaco for a minute because he
Okay.
really rescued you. He's a huge part of your life, and he also inspired your newest venture, which is the Stinky Pet Company. And can you talk a bit about Abaco? He's down for anything, right? He's on the adventure. So where
He
did the name
is.
come from? I find it so unique, and maybe you can share that too.
So his name comes from the Bahamas. At the time, tied to another hurricane, I owned property in the Bahamas, and Abaco was born during Hurricane Dorian. And the property that I owned was in Marsh Harbor. And that particular area of the Abacos Islands was just devastated by another hurricane in 2019. And he was born during that time. And to honor so many lives that were lost and just such devastation, I named him Abaco after those islands. This dog, he has not only saved my life once, he's saved my life multiple times during very dark times, which I think people that have bonds with pets understand. There are days when you don't want to get out of bed and days when you just don't think you can move forward. But if you have a pet, in particular a dog, that dog has to go out, that dog has to eat, that dog has to have caring. And so there would be days where I would lay there and just say, I just can't do it. And he would just lay right there with me as long as he possibly can. And then at some point you hear a whimper, or you feel that little wet nose, and you're just jolted back into reality that it's not just about you. You have someone else to save. And so he would be the reason that I would actually get up and get going again. And it's really only, I can say this now, but I'm not quite sure I would be here talking to you today if I did not have that dog. It was a very dark time. I lost my mom, I had lost my house, I had lost my mobile office, I had lost all my inventory. It was complete loss. And unless you've been through that, I can't even explain it. It's just such an empty feeling. And again, he rides with me everywhere I go. We have been in several situations where we've driven all the way to New England for the summer in our little stinky pet van, and we've driven all the way to Texas in our stinky pet van. And he just sits there right next to me. He's got a bed built up in the front. The line was created in his honor, and also to honor my mom. She was a huge advocate of animal rescue, and fighting any type of neglect and abuse for animals. And I thought, how can I continue my mom's voice? And she would have wanted it to be through saving and rescuing animals. And so the Stinky Pet Company is a line of product that remove pet odor, personal spaces. So I was super hypersensitive in my own spaces. When that dog got wet, I'd be like, oh, I smell a wet. When else to smell a wet dog? So, but I also wanted it to be safe because he was very allergic to a lot of things. I actually paired up with a friend of mine in the UK who made products, and their standards are much higher. So she helped me to launch and develop my line of candles, room sprays, hand sanitizers, and essential oils that are all pet safe in the home. And through each and every one of those sales, we give back in my mom's name to help fight against neglect and abuse of small animals. We have No More Wet Fur Baby, Who Needs a Bath, and Calm Your Paws. We have 4 products each category, and we are going to hopefully by the end of this year launch a pet bedding, pet blanket, laundry detergent as well.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's a passion project for sure.
Is it online?
It is thestinkypetco.com. We have Instagram, we have Facebook. Abaco is the face of the brand. You will see him in everything. It carries on my mom's voice. It gives back to animals, and it gives me a reason to hang out with him. He's so very social. He used to be in the store with me every single day. People would come in just to visit him, and he's kind of passed out next to me right now, but he's definitely a soul saver for me.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that personal part of your story. I appreciate that. And you hear luxury, like the big events, and you've worked with billionaires and you've worked with TV shows, but you also have experienced these dark times and loss. And how did you get through that? And I love this with your dog, and the two of you are taking on the world, traveling literally, like it's a place to find your new home. And so people can do that as well with you, right? They can reach out to you and see at the gun event. What are you still wanting to do with people? Like, are you looking for corporate events? Are you looking for weddings? Or where's your passion still for event planning?
Well, my core is wedding. Like, I don't think I could ever probably completely walk away from them. I have to be very selective because they are very time consuming and you want to give to that client. But I really have shifted to retreats and conferences that empower other people. And so, if you have something you need help with, please do reach out to me. It is not just in the wellness space, although that is and a passion of mine, is to do these retreats to help people to just take a step back and really, again, get themselves centered and themselves focused, because I think that stems to every other place in your life. If you are rooted and grounded yourself personally, so much is going to flourish from that. And so I always say, start with yourself first, but I love to help other people. It's ingrained in me. And whether it is a retreat or a conference or a wedding, or if it's even just starting your own line or your own brand, I have so many amazing resources of people that help me that I would love to share with other people and carry that forward.
Absolutely. You inspire me so much. And your ability to pivot and always have that plan B in your pocket, that is really inspiring to me. About your calm presence, I love being in your energy. It is very calming. And I'm really excited to be working with you in the upcoming future. So people stay tuned. We've got some really exciting event. We'll be looking at 2026 at this point, but because it takes that time, like you said, it takes 365 days to plan a wedding. It's basically like planning a wedding when you're looking at an event of this magnitude and impact. Kristin and I are on the same page with that. And that's why I've chosen her to help me plan this event, because I want to give as well. And I want every single person to just blown away and wow. And that it becomes one of those weekends or weeks that stays with them forever, that it makes a difference. Yeah. That's all I can say about that, because it's still in the very early planning stages. It's going to be amazing. What do you want to say about that, Kristin?
Well, thank you, first of all, for trusting me. Like, I know that you are just as passionate and just as giving to each and every person that you touch. And so for you to be able to share that with me is just an honor. So thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm so excited about it because I know how amazing it's going to be. I'm actually very fortunate that I get to plan it, but then I'll actually be able to attend it and be present for all of it as well. Yeah, stay tuned. It
True.
will be of epic nature.
True. Well, I just got back a holiday with my husband, and on the airplane, twice when I looked out the window, I saw rainbows. And then as we got off the plane, my email popped up. I had some bad news, different news around this event. And I allowed myself to be sad. Like, we had to take a shuttle from the plane to the airport, just like a little bus shuttle. And that's the length of time I allowed myself to actually have a little cry. And then when we got to the resort, I saw another rainbow. And I was like, all right, God, your rainbows are when Noah and the ark. And it was like God's promise to never flood the world again. And it's his promise. And I was like, you've got me. you've got this. Like, you're sending 3 rainbows within a matter of 12 hours. Like, I need listen, that your promise is that as long as I stay true to your will and, stay in alignment with my values and where we're headed on surrounding myself with people like Kristin, it's going to be fine. It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. And it's going to be exactly the way it's supposed to be. Kristin, this has been so amazing. Is there anything else that you want to leave with the listener around any tips about planning an event, any words of wisdom around creating their experience?
Well, I will say that allow yourself enough time to think and create and don't force things. And sometimes we learn that the hard way, right? Like I want things to happen and I want them to happen when I want them to happen. And then I laugh and, there's that saying that says make a plan and then God tells you he's got a different plan. I have lived that in the last probably 5 years. And so give yourself credit, give yourself time. Don't beat yourself up. Just know that there's something better or there's a detour for a reason. I'm a big fan of journaling and y'all know that I have my own journal, but I do just want to say that this magical little thing here that you created, I love. And here it sits with me. And when I get kind of lost or detoured, that's when I write. You'll be surprised what comes up. Sometimes it has nothing to do with the event, but what needs to come out on paper sometimes really helps the process. So journal it out and go back and read those notes. So it's really as important once you write them down to actually let them process. If you do need any advice or you want to reach out, if you've got something, that you're noodling on with a retreat or a conference or a wedding, let's talk.
Oh, that's amazing. Where can they get a hold of you?
Best to just email me, Kristin at thebridalretreat.com. The Bridal Retreat has a contact us page. Even if it has nothing to do with weddings, you can still reach me through there as well. I am on Facebook. I am on Instagram. Happy to talk with you even about a vision board experience. I tend to like to team up with Debbie to do that.
I do love when we collaborate. Absolutely. We've had some really awesome experiences. So thanks so much for being here, Kristin. This is always a joy to talk with you. I can't wait to see what we can be planning here for this event that we're going to be planning for 2026. It's going to be amazing. And so everyone stay tuned for that. And thanks again.
Today, we've delved into the realm of manifesting giants, exploring the power of declaring our desires to the universe with unapologetic boldness. But before we bid adieu, I have a little something special to share with all of you dreamers out there. Introducing the Dare to Declare Vision Board magazine and online DIY Vision Board course, your ticket to manifesting greatness in style. Picture this. Flipping through pages filled with inspiring images, empowering quotes, and step-by-step guides to help you create the vision board of your dreams. Whether you're yearning for that spacious condo with a view or a love that sets your soul on fire, our magazine is here to guide you every step of the way. Dive deep into the art of manifesting with our exclusive online DIY vision board course. Led by manifesting expert, yes, yours truly, and seasoned dreamers. This course will teach you the ins and outs of creating a vision board that speaks to your heart and soul. So what are you waiting for? Join the ranks of the manifesting giants and dare to declare your wildest dreams to the universe. Head over to our website, debbiesluice.com, and grab your copy of the Dare to Declare Vision Board magazine and enroll in our online DIY Vision Board course today. Until next time, keep dreaming big and daring to declare, because in the world of manifesting, the sky's the limit.